The ANC reminded the media of the new and difficult landscape that policymakers now have to operate in. COVID-19, the climate change impacts in KZN and the Russia-Ukraine conflict, which has fueled global and local inflation, were among the challenges raised. The party says it's placing more emphasis on social compacting, getting different spheres of society like government, business and communities to work together, and says its economic policies underpin government's current economic reconstruction and recovery plan.
Overall, ANC's strategy for structural reform and rapidly accelerated and inclusive economic growth is built on the following pillars: structural reforms of network industries to facilitate expanded investment in sectors such as electricity, telecoms, water, rail, and road infrastructure. Strengthening industrial policy intervention using a range of instruments, including development finance, public procurement, and linkages to key areas such as agriculture and energy.
The ruling party has reiterated its support for climate mitigation strategies, but says the just transition process is imperative to ensure that communities that have relied on carbon-emitting industries like coal are not left behind in any transition. At the same time, the party is also keen for the country to pursue exploration of gas and oil prospects, which could be viewed as contradictory.
This country, as we speak right now, has a threat to energy security. And the obligation to transit from coal means that we need to begin to explore gas and oil, because at least with regard to those two fossil sources, there's still to be deadline for us to exit them completely. It's only with regard to coal that by 2050 we're expected to exit.
Much emphasis was placed on addressing the issue of broad-based access to the internet and digital services.
We have put up a target as the ANC that at least by the end of June, most of our 9 million South Africans who are supposed to benefit from digital migration, we should have done so by the end of June. We have so far as the ANC instructed our government to implement, and they've been doing very well. We must commend Comrade Nchaveni, Comrade Kubai and the team in our government for the work done so far related to digital migration.
Despite the faltering post office, the ANC remains keen to implement a national postal bank, which it says would be an accessible bank for ordinary people with the ability to pay government grants. It says more focus needs to be given to supporting SMMEs and the township economy in order for them to thrive. It's proposing re-looking at SOEs, which ones are of strategic importance and need to be retained and supported, with a view to consolidation of the sector. The ANC said it wants to see more youngsters going for vocational courses, helping to close the gap in terms of people's qualifications versus what the economy requires. An emphasis on broader skills development is also high on the agenda, with the importation of scarce skills said to be welcomed where necessary. Nompumelelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.